researchers working on 14 research projects. I want to acknowledge the partners. We had 4 key partners who we have worked along from the beginning of the project until now, mainly the Kenya National Bureau for Statistics, the Institute for Economic Affairs, Biashara Institute of Behavioral Sciences, and then I'm forgetting the fourth one, Tharaka Nithi County. So those are the 4 primary partners that we have worked along. In fact, in Tharaka Nithi, we have carried out 6 research projects in this county, and we'll continue working with them for another 1 year. I want to say that we launched this project on October 20th, 2020. That was a time during COVID, and we were starting this project from scratch, meaning we had to look for a venue, we had to develop policies to run the programs, and we developed 5 policies, 1 on research, another one on advocacy, another one on procurement, another one on field protocol, and another one on finance. So we have worked with these policies, and these policies have helped us implement the program. I must say it hasn't been easy to run those 14 research projects. One of them, the randomized control trial, because of COVID and the irregular school year, we couldn't start it on time. So we pushed it, and I want to acknowledge the donor for helping us push it forward, and that's why this project is not ending now. It's going to end in 2026. So we are proceeding with that project. Over time again, we have had many challenges with teams, because each of the team was composed of 10 research members. In addition to that, we had students, because this project was about capacity building. So as we are working with this project, I must admit there were a bit of challenges in terms of personal relationship among team members. With consultation with the Vice Chancellor and the donor, I was able to restructure a few teams, and I'm glad to report that the 13 teams we are going to have a closure today. Closure financially is the funding that is bringing us here, but the hub is still going to continue. They have worked harmoniously, and they have brought those 14 projects to completion. Can we clap for ourselves? I want to say that one of the things that we have learned in this project is advocacy. And I want to applaud the advocacy expert, Professor Ngare, who has led us in this terrain, and the teams have learned a lot through that advocacy. Again, can we clap for the expert? I want to say that because of the advocacy, we have promoted KU's visibility nationally and internationally. So that many people out there, they're actually reaching to us to come and speak to them as experts in we. So we have done very well during the past 5 years. Again, I want to say that because of the late start of the randomized control trial, we are continuing only with that project until next year. But we are in consultation with the donor and the Yale University to upscale the randomized control trials. Currently, we are implementing the randomized control trials in 118 schools. Our proposal is actually to expand those schools, because the governor and ourselves, we have seen that the project is having a positive impact on women economic empowerment and on child development. Again, during this period, we have been on a train for writing proposals, because as we started, we don't want the hub to end with the end of funding from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So we have been on the train, and up to now, we have actually written 8 proposals for funding, but unfortunately we have not secured much funding, but we are not giving up. We are still reaching out, and we hope within the next 1 year we should be able to seek for more funding. And I want to thank the teams here, the research teams. They have been very willing to collaborate with the hub in order to write these proposals. We have also established our server with the ICT at the department, so all our research data is within this server. So as one of our sustainability program, we are proposing that we become a data center for data, going forward. We have also shared with the donor and the Vice Chancellor proposals for sustainability. We had proposed 3 projects written to the donor. We are yet to hear feedback, but as I said before, the randomized control trial looks more feasible, so we await feedback from the donor. As I conclude my remarks, I want to say that I sincerely thank the Kenyatta University and the management team for giving us support in undertaking this huge project. I've been at KU for almost 40 years, and for me, this was the largest project I've ever run. Without the support of the Vice Chancellor and its management, I would not have come this far. I want also to extend my appreciation to the chairman of the advisory board, Professor Thorowa, who has held my hand from the very beginning up to now. Whenever there is a crisis, I always run to her. I remember last year we had a crisis in terms of data sharing agreement with one of our partners. And she really advised me. She formed a committee, and I want to say that we finally concluded that issue, and now Kenyatta University has a data sharing agreement. And for us at Kenyatta University, other teams or other researchers or future researchers can actually use that data agreement as a prototype for future researchers. So thank you, Madam DVC, Professor Thorowa. I want also to appreciate the principal researchers. This team has worked endlessly. You know, it's not easy to put together a team of 10 and steer them through the 5 years. It has been a push and pull, but the person we hold accountable is the PI. So the PIs have worked endlessly in terms of coordinating their projects. As we get invitation for dissemination, we just send them a short notice, and they have been able to deliver. So again, I want to thank the PIs for all these 13 projects for what you have done. Without you, we would not be here. So thank you very much. Lastly, I want to thank the HUB team. As I said earlier on, when we began, we didn't know how to run it, where to start, you know? So we actually had to work together to be able to put in place those policies. And I can say those policies have helped us. And one which is going to help us even more is the good grant financial practice. That is going to revolutionize the university in terms of how we do research. Because through this project, we have developed those practices so that we can be rated in terms of research excellence. And all of us are going to find these tools useful for our future researchers. So I want to thank the management again. The document was recently approved, so we are very thankful for that. The HUB staff has gone out of their way, first of all, to bring publicity, and I want also to acknowledge Dr. Kiambati, who is the communication specialist. If you go to our website, we have a lot of information, and the product that we have actually produced from this project, they are all there. So it has everything that you need to know about the hub. And that is because of our communication specialist. As I said, Professor Ngare, the advocacy, we have been all over the place, Rwanda, USA, Tanzania, wherever, in Kenya here. We have been all over because of advocacy. And Madam DVC Academics, I think our research should go a little bit beyond the research. The advocacy component is what we are missing, and if we can actually just instill it in our research proposal writing, I think it will go away in solving Kenyans' problems, because we are here to solve Kenyan problems or societal problems. And without enormous advocacy, we seem to be talking to ourselves. So that is a landscape we have learned in this project, and the team members, they can agree. They have reached out where they had not reached, and for me, that is a plus for this project. So in short, I want to just acknowledge the staff and everybody who contributed in one way or another to the growth and the completion of the 13 projects. And I want to add that we are not closing the hub. The hub is still continuing, it's your home. And I want to encourage the researchers that you have lots of data, continue writing, because there was a lot of data. So continue writing, because that's how you grow in this university. Thank you very much.
Best university, Kenyatta University. Right, good morning. How are you doing? How hot is your coffee? From where you're watching us from, how are you doing generally? It's been a minute since we saw each other last Tuesday. This Tuesday, once again, we join here from Kenyatta University, the first university in the country. It has been ranked the first university for the second time in a row. That means you're watching from the best university in the country. Now, this is Kenyatta University Rise Today, and specifically Biashara Tuesday. My name is ANYANGO SYLVIA. So today we have so much in store for you in matters business. I always tell you that when it comes to Biashara Tuesday, it's a show that has the youth's interest at heart. So if you are a young person or you are a parent with a young person, it's time for you to tag them along, because it's a show that we give you insights on how to become a better leader, a better entrepreneur, a better employee, a better CEO, generally a better person when it comes to matters money. That's why we are the best when it comes to young people. Today, so much in store for you, but I'll just give you an overview of what we'll be having this morning. This morning we'll be talking about building your future as a young person. How are you going to be building your future based on leadership and becoming a better entrepreneur? And we'll be joined by CPA Hortensia Kaniu, who's the chair, Association of Women Accountants of Kenya. And she has immense experience in this field, so when we always bring you the best. That's why you cannot miss this. She'll be talking to us about how well can you build yourself as a young person in your, how do you build your career, how do you build your business, how do you become a better leader, generally how do you become a better person in terms of managing your finances, managing your life, managing your career, and becoming a whole-round person who is built and who is competent in matters business. And also this morning we'll also be joined by a young man who has ventured into the hospitality business. Kevin is a founder of AfriRest.com. He connects if you are looking for a place to visit, he will connect you to best restaurants, best places to have your staycation or vacation. So he's a young entrepreneur into the hospitality and tourism industry. So he'll be joining us this morning, giving us insights about how do you become a better business person in a field where in the tourism industry, we all know that there are so many companies. So how does he manage to become the best out of the best? How does he stay in business as a young person? So that is the young person who will be talking to us this morning on the launch. And also, to wrap this up, we'll be joined by Dr. Christelle Richardson, who will be popularly known, if you are keen on social media, you know her as the Wise Daktari. And she focuses on building young people. She has traveled in various countries, helping young people have that global impact in wealth, innovation, sustainability, and execution. That is WISE, the WISE. Wealth, innovation, sustainability, and execution. So in as much as we want you to become a better leader, we want you to become a better entrepreneur, we also want you to go global. We don't want you to just stay within. Last week we had a conversation where we were talking about young people having opportunities abroad, and today we also delve further into that discussion. As you build yourself as an entrepreneur, how well can you position yourself for the global stage? How can you build your business, your brand, or yourself for the global market? So that is what we have for you on the launches. We have several launches today. So those are the discussions that we are going to be having this morning. This morning also, we'll take a look at what is happening in the country, and that means that we'll be taking a look at the dailies or the newspapers this morning, just to give you an overview of what is happening in the country through our dailies. We have the Daily Nation saying State House scare, and this is in relation to the man who used an arrow and a bow to directing it to a guard at State House, the most guarded institution in the country or place in the country. So the man died upon arriving to the hospital, and the one who did that said ni mashetani limtuma. So something that we need to also consider as Kenyans. Are we really okay as Kenyans? Because a lot is going on, because the man says that he just wanted to get into State House and ni mashetani limfanya, and he did what he did. The same day, we had a police officer who was guarding JKIA was also strangled by a civilian. So we have the men in uniform having a really difficult time guarding Kenyans. Is it the problem with Kenyans having or lacking respect, or who should we blame? We always like to find someone to blame. So who are we blaming for this matter? We also have other stories given prominence. We have MPs think tank warns against higher taxes. We have only 20,000 of projected, 6 million new voters listed, and that is in relation to registration, the continuous voter registration ongoing in the country. Only about 23,000 are registered as we speak right now, with the expected 6 million. We also have in education, varsity crisis deepens after collapse of Don's pay talks, and we have university students saying that some of them may be forced to call off their semester. We hope that this does not mimic what happened in 2017, where we had Don strike for 3 months. That is a whole semester gone. So let's hope it does not get to that and the Dons are paid. We have worries from students and worries from the lecturers who are saying they will not be going back to work unless they are paid. And on the Standard, we have another talking about matters money. They're saying another experiment, and this is in relation to the Nyota program. We all know the ongoing program that is funded by the World Bank and Kenya, and it's a grant. We've seen various leaders defend it in different capacities, and we had yesterday an altercation, not really verbal altercation, but we have different opinions from President William Ruto and also his former ally, that is a former budget chair, that is Ndindi Nyoro, who are saying that Kenya is just getting into more debts and it's ballooning further. With this World Bank loan that is gotten for the young people under the Nyota program, it's getting our debt. We already passed the ceiling, so it's generally just going high above the ceiling. So we have the debt that the young people are supposed to be given 50,000 each, and the Standard are saying President William Ruto's newest youth empowerment drive of 5 billion Nyota fund is drawing fire from economists and politicians who say it mirrors past flops like the Hustler Fund. Critics argue that the plan risks adding to Kenya's ballooning debt while offering meager and sustainable grants of 50,000 Kenyan shillings to a few. Analysts warn that without solid policy reforms, Nyota may shine briefly, then fade like its predecessors. And this, they are talking about the Hustler Fund. Have you paid your Hustler Fund? Those who took the Hustler Fund, is it really getting you to become a better business person, or is it helping you in your business? Because most people I know, they are risking not paying that. And on the Star, they're talking about politics. Matiang'i 27 ethnic factor, hiccup in race for top positions. That story is also the same as what is on, I think it's the Standard, where they're talking about Ruto using divide and rule tactics, dividing the opposition to divide the votes. So that is on Matters Politics this morning, and we shall be delving further into these discussions of the state of our nation. But right now, I want us to take a look at what is happening on the road and the traffic situation in the country, specifically Nairobi. Right, it is exactly 37 minutes past 7 a.m. and I'm looking at traffic. There are quite patches of red according to Google, and Thika Road, as always, as expected. There is a snarl up that is from Allsops, that is from Outer Ring Road all the way to Pangani Interchange, and this is also affecting those coming from Kiambu Road. You may want to use alternative routes, which I don't know which routes they are, because if I look at coming through Airport Road, there is also so heavy traffic on that road, watu wanatoka Utawala. So if you're using that route, just know that you're going to stay longer on that route. Those people coming from Ngong Road, that is around the Junction Mall, there is also a little bit of slowdown around those areas. So if you can use other alternatives, well and good for you. So those are among the areas that I'm seeing really heavy traffic. The rest of the areas I'm seeing it's moving quite smoothly. Southern bypass all clear. Those using Mombasa Road, it's only affecting those coming from Langata Road, and this is joining from those coming from Ngong Road. So if you are those routes, you may want to use other alternatives to get to Nairobi Central Business District. Otherwise, all the other roads leading to town, I'm seeing there quite many patches of green with little patches of yellow. So if you're using those routes, you may want to use different routes. So I am looking also at the weather situation in the country, and let's begin from far away, that is from Kisumu. From Kisumu right now it is 21 degrees Celsius. It feels like 25 degrees Celsius. It is 7 in the morning, so you know it's quite hot. And no sign of precipitation through the day, and humidity will be at 66%, winds at 6 kilometers per hour. So that is in Kisumu. If I take a look at the northern part of Kenya, it is now 26 degrees Celsius. It feels like 27 degrees Celsius. Also throughout the day, no sign of precipitation, and it will also not be cloudy as it is in Kisumu. So that is in Wajir. And on the Rift Valley, let's take a look at Eldoret. It's now 15 degrees Celsius, quite cold, and it feels like it around 11. There is 30% chances of them receiving rainfall. That is in Eldoret, the Rift Valley region. Taking a look at the coastal region, that is Mombasa, it is now 25 degrees Celsius, feels like 28 degrees Celsius. A perfect weather for those who want to go for vacation. And throughout the day, From 8 to all the way to 12, there is 20% chances of rainfall. So it may or may not rain. That is 20% chance of rainfall in the coastal region. And back here at home in Nairobi, it is 16 degrees Celsius. It feels like it. Throughout the day, no sign of precipitation, just cloudy. Throughout the day, no sign of precipitation here in Nairobi. So that is on the traffic and the weather situation in the country. Our guests are already in studio. We'll be having a discussion on leadership and the future of young entrepreneurs. And you need to stay tuned for that discussion, because everyone wants to be a better person in their field. Whether it's in business, you have your own business, in the corporate world, you want to be the best. We'll also get to know about office politics. How do you progress your career and go about office politics? We know that the Gen Zs, most of the time you call yourself, oh, I'm also a Gen Z. Most of the time we say that, you know, we don't care, it doesn't matter, but then office politics is something that we cannot avoid. So how do you navigate that? How do you progress in your career? Stay tuned for that discussion shortly after the break.
KUTV Hub's partners. So we have representatives from the Institute of Economic Affairs. We also have representatives from Kenya Bureau of Statistics, KUTV Hub leadership, researchers, colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I'm here to represent the Vice Chancellor, but before I read his speech, I also want to appreciate the session that we have had here this afternoon and all the discussions that we have had, and even the findings that have been presented. I know we've been listening to findings at different times, but to hear it in a consolidated manner, that has really been very good and very interesting. And just to also appreciate the work that has been done at the WE Hub over the years. Really, for me, coming from the research division, I look at it that this project was more of an ideal situation of what research really ought to be. It had all the components of an ideal situation when you have all the funding that you have, in the sense that from the beginning, I remember there were sessions on sharpening the proposals and aligning it in such a way that not only will you do research, but it has to make impact in the community. And so it went through all those steps so that the research went from the proposal to actual implementation of projects to impact on the ground. There was capacity building. Many sessions of capacity building in this project, which enhanced the skills of researchers, and therefore all of us are actually better than we were when this program started off. We are doing things that we never even thought we would do, just because of the skilling that went through within this project, and then all the steps that went through to implement the project on the ground, forging partnerships and working together. So from the research perspective, and then it was multidisciplinary, amazing. So from the research perspective, it was almost the ideal way of doing research and seeing all the steps to the impact, and really that's what we would want to promote in the research division. More such projects, working together from A to Z. So I do want to appreciate the leadership, the hub leader, the project leader, all the research. I you know, from where I sit, I also want to give my appreciation to all the researchers and the way this project has turned out. And thank all of you. I know there are very many members of the teams who are not present, but I would want them to know that we have appreciated all the work that has gone into this project. Of course, we recognize the role of the Gates Foundation, and just the way they have the way they have worked with us so that we can achieve all these objectives. It's been an excellent learning experience. And I think one of the things should be documenting the whole process to see how it has impacted the institution. That would be a very good learning point for the institution. So now I will go to read the Vice Chancellor's speech. It is a great honor and privilege to join you at this significant moment as we bring to a close the research project, Initiatives for What Works to Improve Women's Economic Empowerment in Kenya. On behalf of Kenyatta University, I warmly welcome all of you and express our deep appreciation for your commitment to advancing knowledge and practice on an issue that remains central to Kenya's social and economic progress. Allow me at the outset to extend profound gratitude to the Gates Foundation for funding this important initiative. Your support has enabled rigorous inquiry, opened avenues for collaboration, and provided us with evidence that will not only inform policy and practice, but also directly touch the lives of women across our nation. I sincerely appreciate the contribution of the project partners, the Tharaka Nithi County Government, the Institute of Economic Affairs, and the Kenya Bureau of Statistics. Ladies and gentlemen, this project has been both ambitious and timely. Over the course of its implementation, 13 studies have been conclusively conducted under 3 thematic areas. 1. Women's roles in public and private sectors, exploring barriers and opportunities for women's full participation in leadership, governance, and enterprise. 2. Women's skilling and mentoring, identifying how best to equip women with relevant skills, networks, and mentorships to thrive in a rapidly evolving labor market. 3. Violence, crisis, and women's work, examining the profound ways that insecurity, domestic and gender-based violence, and crises such as pandemics impact women's productivity and well-being. One study, a randomized controlled trial on the effects of a preschool intervention on child learning and women's economic empowerment in Tharaka Nithi County, is still ongoing. The findings from these themes paint a nuanced picture of women's economic empowerment in Kenya. They highlight both progress achieved and challenges that remain deeply entrenched. Importantly, they give us what works, providing interventions that are evidence-based, context-sensitive, and scalable. Together with partners and stakeholders, the KUTV Hub has generated impactful policy recommendations and provided expert opinions on various issues affecting women, including gender-based violence, unpaid care work, and workplace delegation, among others. The project's findings have been useful, providing important gender perspectives in the development of policies in tourism, manufacturing, budgeting, and the public service in general. Policy dialogues led by the PUB have generated crucial insights into what works to enhance the empowerment of women and girls, not only in Kenya, but also the region and beyond. The project has been a capacity-building ground for researchers, students, and staff that oversaw its implementation. It has provided a springboard from which many researchers have launched their policy-driven research skills. In fact, the research work has contributed significantly to the career growth of many researchers, with some of them being promoted from lecturers to senior lecturers and even professors. Researchers have acquired skills on how to translate findings to policy briefs and other documents that communicate effectively to policymakers. Besides, the credible work of the researchers in this project has greatly enhanced Kenyatta University's position as a key research partner in Kenya, the region, and globally. Ladies and gentlemen, women's economic empowerment is not just a matter of equity. It is a catalyst for broader development. Studies worldwide, including those presented here, show that when women thrive economically, households become more resilient, children's education and health outcomes improve, and national economies grow stronger. As a university, we are proud to have played a central role in convening researchers, policy actors, and practitioners to not only interrogate women's empowerment issues, but also provide the gender data required for sustainable, effective policies and programs. This closeout is not the end, but rather a beginning. It is a launch pad for translating evidence into action. I therefore call on policymakers and civil society, the private sector, and international partners to take up these findings and embed them into programs that will tangibly transform the lives of women and girls. To our researchers, I commend your dedication and intellectual rigor. You have illuminated pathways that will not only serve Kenya, but also inspire comparative work in Africa and beyond. To our partners and stakeholders, thank you for walking with us, challenging us, and ensuring that the work remained anchored to the real needs of women and girls. I call on researchers to continue working on more grant proposals to ensure that further research is conducted, not just on women's empowerment, but on all other areas of our economy. In closing, I urge us all to remain steadfast. Let us ensure that the insights gained from these studies do not remain in reports or academic journals, but continue to be translated into policies, training programs, business practices, and community initiatives that uplift women and through them uplift all society. Kenyatta University remains committed to quality research and will be glad to partner in future studies, including the scaling up of studies in this project. Thank you very much.
Doesn't suit your purpose anymore.
All right, welcome back, dear gentle viewer. We are back on the launch with a discussion that I promised you earlier. What you're just seeing on your screen was women who are venturing into innovation, women dreaming big and wanting to change the future of this country and the future of this world. Right now, I'm joined by, yet again, very beautiful ladies who are here to talk to us about the future of young persons or the young people in terms of business, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And this mostly focuses on your career growth as a young person, because as you enter business, it's not just about going to work, waking up every morning and going to do what you do. It's all about where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? How do you want to be addressed in the next 20 years, 15 years, or even 5 years? How do you want the public to view you? What are you bringing to the table as a young person in your business? So they're here to help us understand how to become a better CEO, a better business person, and generally a better person. Allow me to allow the ladies introduce themselves to us. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Let me begin from right on my immediate right.
Thank you so much for having us here, Sylvia. It's a very good day, and yeah, today you're presented with two beautiful ladies, three of course. My name is Paulette Karanja. I am a student at Kenyatta University, as well as the president of the Finance Society of Kenyatta University, and it's a pleasure to be back here once again, talk about financial literacy, youth leadership, and what keeps us going.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
CPA.
Thank you so much. I'm CPA Hortensia Kaniu, a certified public accountant of Kenya. I'm an auditor. That's what I do from 8 to 5. Over and above that, I'm the chairman of the Association of Women Accountants of Kenya, AWAC. And I serve in several committees at ISPAC, and also I'm a board member at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you.
Karibu sana. Thank you for making time for us this morning. And I'm sure that our viewers are really excited to have you both here. Let's begin from the very basic. Traditionally, we are Africans. So traditionally, women are perceived to be weak. They are perceived to be making decisions with emotions. With the different stages, we are perceived to be emotional most of the time. And sometimes we are told that a woman cannot hold a better position because of these changes. So from your experience and having chaired all these boards and having navigated through the corporate industry to where you are, what do you consider to be the biggest challenge, especially for the young ladies who are aspiring to be to advance their careers? What do you consider to be the greatest barrier for them to get to those places?
Thank you so much. The greatest barriers is usually the personal initiative, that lifting up of the hand. And as ladies, as women, we are at times afraid to lift up our hand. And at times we are lifting midway instead of just lifting up high. So we are, first of all, that's the first barrier. The other barrier is the environment where you're perceived as a woman, and you should always package yourself in a way that you are able to either squeeze yourself in a table, or if there's no seat for you, you push yourself in. And not many ladies are willing to do that. Thank you.
All right, I've seen this in several memes. Wakisema mimi nitakuja, aliye juu nitamfuata juu, na kuna kitu wahenga wenyu watanifanyia. So I think it's just the same thing. If you're having that zeal to push yourself, you go for it. For your case, how has it been like to get in leadership? Because you're in a maneno ya pesa, it's maneno rahisi, and you're being trusted as the president. How has it been like for you?
Thank you so much for highlighting that. It has been a great journey, considering that I did start as the finance secretary to now proceeding to the president. And it's the fact that I believed in myself so that people believed in me. So it always starts from within, as she has said, personal motivation. So the world will perceive what you portray outside. So if you portray self-belief as a great ambition leaders, people can rely on, people can trust, and also people cannot just lead, also but creating relationships, not just followers. I think that's what has made me who I am here today.
Mm-hmm. And I'll consider that leadership. For your case, what do you consider to be good leadership?
Good leadership is all about, if you're able to lead yourself, you can be able to lead the others. And it's not just leading, it's an act of service. Service to the community, service in the industries that you are in, service in professionalism. So it's more of being able to be trusted, having strong discipline, have strong talk about purpose, and also having a vision that people will see, this is your vision, we can work towards it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, coming to CPA, there is a case where young people, you'll hear them say that, I love my job, but then the work environment is toxic. What do you consider to be the cause of toxicity at workplace? Is it the leadership? Is it the staff? What do you consider to be leading to that?
Okay. One, all spaces can be toxic and can be non-toxic. It just depends with how you package yourself, and also be adaptable to the environment. Stay above the board. If you do your work well, if you're able to, for instance, deliver in all your deliverables at that timely manner, you will not have somebody following you up, then that name toxicity will not be with you. I believe that one comes with being made noise at, being followed at, being asked to give explanations why this and this is not done. But if you happen to do your work well, correlate with others in a healthy manner, I think you'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There is the aspect of office politics that is mostly affecting I think it's mostly affecting young persons, young people, because you'd find that your way, if you want to grow your career, your way to the top may not be based on your performance. It may be based on maybe your interaction. So what do you consider to be a way that helps a person get faster to the top or growing your career?
It's basically, it's just packaging yourself properly. You need to package yourself properly, and what I would really require, is really required of you is first to have integrity as a young person in whatever you do. Then package yourself well. There is also the aspect of managing politics. Politics will always be there, but how well do you manage the politics? And to what direction do you get the politics in? Take everything in a positive way, and also be ready to learn. Be ready to learn. The seniors that you get at the work environment, these are the people to hold your hand through mentorship, and you'll be able to learn, and learn by doing. Learn by doing. Yes.
The young people, I'm still on you.
Yes.
The young people these days, you'll hear them say that we are not like the millennials or the other generations where you'd be not manipulated, exploited at work. They'll do their work and then they tell you, I'm doing this based on my pay. This is extracurricular activities. I am not paid for that, so I am not going to do that. If the work begins at 8, they will clock in at 8. If the work ends at 4, even if you give them a task at 8, at 3:55, they'll be like, but it's my time to go home. How do you think this is affecting the young people in terms of their career growth?
I've had that scenario before. Actually, in another platform like this one, where we had a discussion with the university students, and they were saying once they get to the space of internship, they are usually asked to do photocopying. They are asked to maybe arrange files, and that doesn't sit well with them. And your question really relates to that particular discussion. And we were explaining to them that there's always a beginning point. There is always a starting point. So you have to get in and start learning the basic things. Those basic things, even if it's filing, photocopying and all that, ensure that you align yourself with the mentorship at the workplace so that you're able to learn. That's the only way to learn. Even an aeroplane up in the sky usually have a takeoff period. So there's no way you will jump from, for instance, from here at the university, and you are now the CEO or the manager up there. There must be a learning session. And also, we call it a takeoff period. That takeoff period is what is bringing many issues to our young people, because they are not patient. They do not like to learn, and I would really urge that you get down to, you give your all so that you create time and be able to learn. For instance, you're saying that you clock 5 and leave. Suppose you have an assignment that needs to be done. Okay, I understand this is a different generation, but ensure that you really make maximum use of the people you are at the workplace. Thank you.
How does extracurricular activities at workplace sit with you?
Extracurricular activities, as we come to understand, it's a part of your life, and you realize major employers, they also take part in understanding and also seeing what else can you bring apart from now the professional knowledge that you have been given through school. And we talk about sports, we talk about the leisure activities that they encourage people to get in, and they support you through probably tennis, badminton, and recently we've seen banks having competition amongst themselves, and that grows beyond just the normal competition in businesses, in customers, but also encouraging the employees that beyond having the 9 to 5 work, you can also engage yourselves in the extracurricular activities. Swimming, are you good at that? People also good in, there are people who are good at swimming, they're also good at playing basketball, tennis. Having good employers who show you and help you go through that and also participate and bringing up competitions. They encourage you so that you can also be good at your work and also energizing your body, because work without play makes it
Like a dull boy. All right. Now, CP, there is a surge of young people venturing into freelancing. Like it's a generation of Nikona gig, you know. I'm working for different people, and you are the one who determines your pay, your work conditions. Do you think this is sustainable?
In the short run, yes. In the short run, yes. But you need to have a plan and also have long-term goals. This is still good. Money is money, and money is good. Doesn't matter whether it's an office pay or a gig, all money is good. And from the professional part of view, you cannot have one line of finances. You need several. So a gig is good, and who knows, that can be your very next big thing for you in future. So you see, you start from that. Of course, there's a passion why you're doing it. Have as many lines as possible, explore as many lines as possible. Then you progress on. Then you be ready and open with yourself enough to drop what is not working, and also embrace new other lines. Yes.
All right. Some may argue that you need to be exceptional in one area, other than knowing a thing in different fields. So we are in a world where you need several income. You need multiple jobs. And what happens to they say that most millionaires are experts in one field and then employ others to do the other things. So what happens to this perspective of you need to venture in one thing and be a master of one, other than you know very many things which you can't do perfectly?
Okay, I would really advocate for an agile mindset, where you can see, like for instance, you're a university student, you have time in your hands. There is so much that you can do. There's nothing wrong with being all-rounded, and having multi-skills. In this era of AI and where we are right now, you need to be multi-skilled. One particular aspect cannot be sufficient for you. For instance, I'm an accountant. I'm a certified public accountant. That is not all that I do. You need leadership. You need AI. You need IT. You need other skills to help you. For the youth, you need so much. You need computer skills. You need to know how to do data analysis. You should not stick to just one line. There is that one item that you're learning that is maybe your area of concentration, but you need to be agile and also venture into other lines. And there's no harm in this digital age. You also need to be feasible, feasibility, and you also need to have those aspects to help you being feasible. So multitasking in terms of having more than one skill, it's usually recommended. I would recommend that you be agile. Yes.
Pauline, what's your take on that?
It's true. Totally agree with that. That beyond just being good, it's good that at least find something that you're good at. But how will you know you're good at something if you don't try everything? And if you don't take that step to just try, as we are young right now, I have the time. I have the time to know if I'm good at the extracurricular activities, if I'm good at leadership position, if I'm good at beyond now my classwork, my coursework studies. So being all rounded is one that will make you also stand out when it comes to the larger population of what you're doing. The world is also changing. Things are new things are coming up each and every day. So if I was good yesterday at probably analyzing set of data. There's now a machine that can be able to do that. There's something else that has come in today. I have to start again, do it, put on. They say you're good at something when you do it. You put 10,000 hours in it. So it's not just one simple hour, then I'll be good at it. progressively, and beyond the 10,000 hours you've completed, you can start something else, 10,000 hours. So it helps you to, even if I change locations, even if I change environments, I can be able to adapt quickly. And that's why we continuously advocate for AI and people to also engage in it beyond business courses, the CPA. You can also now do the professional data analytics coursework, the statistical data coursework, because AI won't take your job. Those who know how to use AI are the ones who are going to replace your job. So it's upon you to engage in every aspect that it is there. If you get the chance, if you have the time, take yourself to understand, will I be good at this? And that there's only one way to find out, once you start.
I love that. The fact that they say that most of the time as young people we fail because we look at things in a year. Like at the end of the year, I want to do this, I want to do this, forgetting that there is 10 years. At the end of 10 years, what do I want to do? Like right now, I've seen young people already saying that my breakthrough year imebakisha 2 months, so there's nothing I can do. Tungoje 2026, forgetting that the little that we do pile up to the greater. Yeah. Now let's talk about merging entrepreneurship and professionalism or career. Most of the time you find that when someone is doing one of them, they forget the other. Someone venturing into business, they forget, okay, I have to go to my 9 to 5. So how well do you balance between entrepreneurship and your career?
Okay, there is so much that one can do with 2 hands, but there's an aspect of delegation, of proper management. You don't need to do everything, but you can plan properly, and you have other people around you to help you, because you cannot do everything, but everything needs to be done well. So, and also one side should not suffer at the expense of the other. Your professional work should not suffer at the expense of the entrepreneurship part. Also, the business or the entrepreneurship part should not suffer because of the professional. So striking a balance between the two is very, very crucial. This comes with proper planning. You really need to have proper planning. I like what you have said, that we usually look at now, not the future. You need to have short-term plans and also long-term plans. For instance, that entrepreneurship that you want to venture into, what is the future of it? Most of maybe the professional part, you could be in unemployment, and how long, how many years do you need to stay in that job before maybe you let it go? And so you need to balance, have short-term goals and also long-term goals. Proper management starts from yourself, from me. Proper planning on myself, such that I'm able to deliver on what I am doing, that is now the professional side, and also plan very properly on the other side, that is the entrepreneurship side, so that neither of the sides suffer. Remember, even when you delegate, you need to delegate and ensure things are working. Yes.
There's a problem when it comes to people beginning their businesses. Sometimes because you're having 2 streams of income, you have the business and then you have your career. You find that sometimes your business is running on losses and then you use your salary to bring up the business. What mistake does this have for the business, or what leads to these mistakes where you find that your salary is funding the business and you're just having the business for like the fun part of it, and it's not really making profits?
It just starts with the original part of it, that is the business plan. What type of business plan did you put in place? And did you have a business plan in the first place? Or you just started? Did you just start without a business plan? Because in the business plan, you need to have the financial aspect well figured out. Very well figured out. There's no reason why your job and your salary should be coming to fund the business. That means either we lost it at the initial stages of having a good business plan, or I don't know, something must have happened along the way. But remember, these two should be able to support each other. Yes, I agree. There are times when you get into that entrepreneurship and businesses and they start dipping, but you can't keep throwing good money into bad money. So you also need to see and evaluate when you should stop, and a clear business plan with clear time frames, deliverables, and also getting back to it and checking what went wrong and what you can align. And we should not be afraid to start again. At times, I remember there's during one of the graduations, the Vice Chancellor was giving a speech at the University of Nairobi, and she was saying, as young people, opportunities will go out, and the opportunities are different for each and every one of us. For some, it will be okay. You will go, everything is aligned, you'll have a job, and you start off. But there for some people it will not work. So you will need to go back to the drawing board. And she was emphasizing that do not be afraid to go back to the drawing board. Go back there to the drawing board, draw it again, and start all over again, and then rise. Same case to businesses. If it's not working, if it's eating up into the little that you have, go back to the, do not be afraid to go back to the drawing board, set it up again, and rise. Thank you.
I love the part where you said throwing good money to bad money. From where you sit, when do you know it's now time to give up? We go like, this is now not patient. This I should be giving up. This is wasting time.
Giving up is something that we're always afraid of doing. But if it doesn't suit your purpose, if it doesn't give you fulfillment anymore, you don't per se give up, but I think you just go back, sit down, and understand what was your why. Why did you start? What has driven you through? Is it change? Is it the people around you? Is it support that is no longer there? Is it the motivation that was making you wake up to do it every day? So before setting your mind that you want to give up, go back and understand, why did I start it? Why was I here? Why am I here till night now? Why did we come all through this far to make it a stop? But again, if it doesn't meet your purpose anymore, we close that chapter. There's also a new chapter to open. Life is a beautiful experience. Every day you get a chance to wake up. Every day you get a chance to breathe new fresh air. You get a chance to think through, understand. And you don't know who you're going to meet out there. You're going to open doors where you close these doors, but you don't bang them. You just close them, and there'll be another one ahead of you. Yeah.
I love that you don't bang them. I would have said what you're saying in Luo, but it's good. Now, you deal with young people, you interact with them most of the time, and you're privileged to have knowledge on what business is like, on what entrepreneurship is like. You happen to be close to brilliant minds who have experience. So from interacting with the young people, what do you think is the biggest mistake they make that slows down their progress or slows their businesses? The mistake they make, maybe foundational mistakes that they make.
It's true, I am also a Gen Z, and we interact more in class, beyond class, and also as business students, these are conversations we always have now and then. Now we find students who try and venture into businesses, they go it in a short-term mentality, not having time to create a business plan. To understand what purpose am I bringing into the world? Why am I starting this business? Who are my financiers? If things go south, where am I supposed to go and get help? This is the type of business that I want to start with. Where should I start? Will I need the tools that I need to begin and say, now I can offer this service, or now I can offer this product? So we find that lack of a business plan, and also the mentality of, I want to get profits immediately. Not having a long-term sustainable goal that will push you through, that even if things don't work out, you'll still wake up and continuously progress through. Yes.
That is a lot to take in for a young person, because most of the time you'll hear someone say that, I wonder why how the older generation used to survive the economy, because you'll hear someone say that with my salary, we are having the same salary, and this person is raising kids and he has a wife, but for me, I can barely sustain myself with the same salary. So what do you think, CPA, is the biggest mistake the young people make when it comes to managing their finances? Because you'll hear them complain a lot. I've never had a young person say that, okay, now I'm comfortable. They will always be like, I need to get this, I need to get this. Is it a consumer mentality that we have?
First, I believe the issue of skill sets and having gaps in, like what she was saying, in what you're doing. At a click of a button, you are able even to get the basic bookkeeping skills. And you should be a CEO of yourself. If you don't have one, be one for yourself, so that you sit down and evaluate where you have gaps. What gaps do you have? Do you know about the financial part? You should have those basic skills, because that is actually one of the things that usually bring in a lot of problems. And fill in those gaps. What is required? Why is the business failing? Why is the business failing? Why is it not doing well? What is lacking from your end? And you take yourself in a small examination and get to know what gaps that you have. So you fill in those gaps. So that even as you come to the money aspect, you are able to manage well, because you have those basic skills. For instance, the bookkeeping, you are able to see, this is the much that I'm getting in a day, and a basic cash book. This is what I got in and what is going out, and this is what I am left with, so that you don't eat stock. What we usually say, eating stock. Because you find yourself that you may not know that you do not have, then do not mix business money and your money, because what remains is what you should use, not what you have put into the business. If there's not that separation, you mix up everything. Those skill sets are missing. You'll be moving in backward situation instead of forward.
So from what I get that young people are not succeeding in their businesses mostly because they lack records, they lack plans. They just begin. My friend alianzisha hii biashara, so let me also begin it. Now let's talk about the aspect of, we talked about women having barriers to getting to positions of power or getting their businesses known, funding and all that. But now there is the young person. You'll talk to us about how hard it is or easy it is to get to these places. But then from an experienced perspective, young people often say that I am not believed because probably I'm just a student, or I don't have titles when it comes to interacting with other people in spaces, maybe conferences. You'll hear someone introduce themselves, oh, I have 30 years of experience and this and this. And then this young person wants to compete with the same person, and you're just maybe a fresh graduate, or you have a project that you want it funded, but then you are a young person who lacks experience. How do you pitch for yourself, or campaign for yourself when you have basic accomplishments or basic maybe papers, qualifications and that as a young person?
Okay, success is a journey. It's not at the destination. So you must begin from somewhere. So when you look at somebody who have 30 years of experience, that person has started from somewhere. What I'd encourage a young person is, first of all, to get mentorship, and also something we call sponsorship. Sponsorship is not the handouts or giving out some little cash here and there. It is somebody who can mention your name in a room full of opportunities. And how do you get that? One is volunteering. You need to volunteer. Apparently, the young people, we are not patient. We want things to happen right now. What we usually call microwave success. It doesn't work like that. So be patient, put yourself together, put your skills together, get to learn those skill sets that I'm mentioning, get to package yourself in a good way, take your time and learn, get a mentor, and also volunteer. Volunteer is very crucial because you start giving back. For instance, we have secondary schools where we schooled, we have primary schools where we schooled. There is so much that you can give. Even here at the institution, there are spaces like the library where we can volunteer our services free of charge. From there, of course, you'll be teamed up. You'll be volunteering at an experienced person. The person will be able to hold your hand. And the aspect of that sponsorship, what I mentioned, somebody mentioning you in a room full of opportunities, that is the time now your name, Paulette, will appear. So you should not shy away from volunteering and also packaging yourself. So I'm mentioning Paulette, and Paulette has not packaged herself well. You see, it doesn't go like that. So you start with packaging yourself well, have the skill sets. That is why you say that you need to be agile, do more than one. It's not only the degree that you're doing. Equip yourself with all the skills that are needed, then volunteer, get into the space, look for mentors, be humble, be humble, and you will grow your way. Then that thing of somebody is asking for 30 years experience, it will come. You have volunteered. Even volunteerism will count. And then when you get to the space, you will know what to do. Because you already volunteered and you're also willing to learn. Thank you.
I love that. Bullet. But before we get into a conclusion, how have you managed to get into these spaces, get these opportunities as a young person? How have you made your way through them?
Yeah, thank you. So you find it is true. It is a bit challenging for us young people to also find and sit at the table, but you come and realize that when you are available, you show up continuously. So it's the consistency in you that will make me understand that, oh, I saw you here, I saw you here. So what will it portray? That you are available, you are ready to offer yourself to and also provide something in return. So it's not just a matter of take and take and take. What am I bringing to the table? I'm available. I can create time to be in this and this space, to attend this event, to attend this webinar, to bring up myself and also have a conversation with you, ask you, where did you start? Till you hear what is the process. So you being yourself, to me showing up consistently, even if you don't feel like doing it, you just have to wake up, because the why, back to what we are speaking behind, there's something that pushes you through. So it's a challenge, because you find that you also need to do courses. You have to continuously learning. You come to realize learning doesn't stop. Even those in bigger positions are still in school doing their masters, doing their PhDs, doing their third, fourth degrees. So what does it show you? As much as you're also trying to equip to fit in that place, I also have to brand myself to fit in that place. And also in this day and era, we are moving digital. So do I have my space in the digital space? These opportunities come through LinkedIn. They all come through Facebook, they come through Twitter, conversations, rallies are being made through TikTok, through Twitter. Do I have myself visible in that space, that when someone searches Paulette, what does it appear? My achievements, my completions, the small volunteering aspects that she has mentioned, put it out there, let people see. You never know who is watching. There might be your next employer. There might be your next sponsor who will mention your name. Oh, I saw this young lady doing this and this. She might be fit for this position. And you realize once you are agile enough, you're able to adapt and you're able to quickly understand the world needs this, so I have to be this so that I can fit in. It's not just a smooth process, but dot and dot adds up, and you'll get a straight line where it moves through.
All right, thank you so much. Now I'll give you a minute for a conclusion. CPA, if you are if you were to give an advice to your younger self, your 20-year-old self, on how to make it make the success come faster or in a smoother way, what advice would you give yourself?
Okay. One is to embrace change, and also world is a beautiful place. I'll go back and do so much that I have done at this era. More leadership, knowledge, and being all well packaged. Yes.
All right, that's beautiful. Paulette, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I was expecting you to tell me my younger self, like, I'm still young. In the next 10 years, of course, following footsteps of my mentors here, I'll be a CPAK also, and also progressing in life, and also being adaptable. And I'm really curious to see where the digital and AI thing will be. So I'm really looking forward to that. And as much as we're also looking forward to that, of course, venture into that area and see how we can be able to understand and also make it easier to make decisions in businesses using the compatibility of AI. Yes.
All right. Umesema it will not be luck. It is strategic. You have
it's
strategically planned for that.
It's applied.
Thank you so much for mentoring us as young people, and also thank you so much for Paulette for showing us that it's possible. Sometimes we think that, those are things that are done by other people, but when you see your peers doing the same thing as what you see as hard, you get motivated to do it. So thank you so much, ladies, for making time for us. I'm sure our viewers back at home now know how to navigate office politics, get into better positions just by what you have shared with us. So that has been on the launch with the beautiful ladies here. So coming up next is a discussion on having yourself on the global market. How do you position yourself for that? Stay tuned for that, coming up after the break.
Working on 14 research projects.
We also want to appreciate
year 2020, when we started this project, the public service, the Kenya Public Service, which is the employer for the Kenya government, was picking women at the 1/3 ratio. If you recall, 1/3 ratio was President Kibaki's clarion call.
For me, coming from the research division, I look at it that this project was more of an ideal situation of what research really ought to be. It had all the components of an ideal situation when you have all the funding that you have, in the sense that from the beginning, I remember there were sessions on sharpening the proposals and aligning it in such a way that not only will you do research, but it has to make impact in the community. And so it went through all those steps so that the research went from the proposal to actual implementation of projects to impact on the ground. Besides, the credible work of the researchers in this project has greatly enhanced Kenyatta University's position as a key research partner in Kenya, the region, and globally. Ladies and gentlemen, women's economic empowerment is not just a matter of equity. It is a catalyst for broader development. Studies worldwide, including those presented here, show that when women thrive economically, households become more resilient, children's education and health outcomes improve, and national economies grow stronger.
Supported by your division.
I'm a director of African Collection.
The interest in Africa is greater because of the B2C marketing, and then the conversion can be done by the travel trade, which helps. Yeah. But what I would recommend, especially at the government level, it would be to invest in public relations, in PR, to invite media to see the destination, to invite influencers to see the destination, because what the gap in definitely the gap in terms of destination marketing would be B2C, because thus far we have, we can bring the travel agents or the tour operators to the market and educate them.
I think we need to uplift the image of Kenya. It's much safer than it was 30 years ago. And I think that if Indians are more welcome with probably visa-free, it would help a lot for last-minute travelers to decide, because it's only 6 hours flight, and it would be added revenue to the country.
Addressing regional leaders at the KICC in Nairobi, President William Ruto urged greater investment in infrastructure, underscoring Kenya's commitment to a digital-first approach to regional integration. The agenda aligns with the summit's theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth.
We must move decisively to digitalize every aspect of trade facilitation by investing jointly in physical and digital infrastructure, modern transport corridors, regional data centers, and secure cloud services. By harnessing digital tools, we can enhance cross-border trade efficiency, streamline financial inclusion, and create new platforms that enable small and medium enterprises to access regional and global markets.
Delivering a direct call to action to his regional counterparts, the president emphasized that while technology eases movement and connectivity, genuine integration will only succeed through firm policy commitment from every capital.
Ladies and gentlemen, we must move from competition amongst ourselves to cooperation and collaboration. From exporting raw materials to building value chains that retain wealth within our borders. At the same time, the question of continental integration must go beyond trade agreements and shared markets. It must also embrace the free movement of people, goods, and services across our borders.
Regional leaders attending the summit expressed confidence in the digital cooperation agenda, highlighting the need to accelerate digital integration and eliminate non-tariff barriers to boost intra-African trade.
We are moving with speed to digitize every aspect of our trade facilitation instruments and in the construction of world-class physical and digital infrastructure.
I strongly urge all regional economic communities to commit to implementing all technical requirements necessary to the CFTA to operate fully. This will bring about cumulative positive effects, driving the structural transformation of Africa's economy, a foundation for achieving Agenda 2063.
Kenya's assumption of the COMESA chairmanship position is to drive the regional agenda, focusing on areas that align closely with its national economic goals. The move is expected to strengthen trade expansion, enhance policy influence, boost economic visibility, and advance strategic infrastructure development. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
All right, welcome back. We've had very interesting discussion before on how the young people, or as young people, we can improve ourselves in the world of entrepreneurship and, grow to the career ladder. And right now, I want us to have a discussion on a way to the global market. It's not just about growing in your business, growing in your career, becoming a better entrepreneur, but in a world where we mostly complain that in our respective countries we have limited job opportunities, it's time for us to think of global market. And who better can help us understand how global markets work than the wise Daktari. Daktari, karibu sana. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers back at home.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on, first of all. My name is Dr. Crystal Richardson, and I am a wealth innovation strategist. So I help people understand, just simply put, how to go from creativity to cash flow. And we'll be getting into it a little bit later, but one of the main philosophies that I teach on is in relation to the cash flow quadrant. And I really love the ladies that you had on earlier. They were all over my subject matter, because it is the essence of what we need in life, is understanding how to go out, be who you want to be, do what you want to do, but make money at it and have global impact. So I'll be talking about the cash flow quadrant in a moment. But I've been to about 40 countries doing what I do, teaching entrepreneurship, leadership, innovation. I'm also a pastor, a missionary, so we've done a number of global missions, and that will also be a part of what I'll talk about, is how you can have global impact.
We have just gotten started now. Feel free to talk about anything that you feel like will benefit our audience. Okay. Now that we are on money and wealth, most of the time the young people, I don't know if it's the system that builds us to that, but we often think of, we always on survival mode. I want to get money for this, I want to get money for this, and often we forget that, okay, we can also build wealth. We want to get rich, but then we forget that there is a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Correct. So what do you think is the biggest setback, be it in systems, be it in mindset, that we have as young people of not developing wealth from a younger age?
Yes, and I like that you ended that statement with younger age. So being that a lot of us have gifts and talents inside of us. We have where God has placed a lot that we could do if we just knew how to tap into it and how to bring it out. And so one of the shows that I've done has been on multimillionaires that are the age 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18. And so when I go into schools and talk about that, sometimes people are like, wow, really? And it's true, because if you have where you can put systems in place, you have the mindset, and surround yourself with the right mentors, anything is possible. The ladies before me, that they were talking about having a business plan, and not just having it, but executing it. So having great mentors, having great coaches, and having programs such as the one that is in place right now here at Kenyatta University, which is the Innovation Centers of Excellence. It teaches you mindset. And it's all revolving around my book and the word that I have trademarked, which is innovology. Mm-hmm. And that's the manifestation of creative thought in motion. And I'm going to say that one more time. The manifestation of creative thought in motion. Mm-hmm. So how do we think? And then how do we put that into the marketplace? And so we as adults, and I always end up saying my age, I'm 61. And in my 61 years, I started out as a child entrepreneur. We didn't call it entrepreneur back in the 60s. We were just doing whatever it was that we wanted to do. I had a paper route with my brother. We shoveled snow. We raked leaves. We cut bushes. We painted houses. We did like a lot of things in the neighborhood to make money. So we were little hustlers, you know, back in the day. But what that also taught me was when I got older, there were other things that I could do to use both my left brain and right brain. You see, related to how we bring up our children a lot of time in school, pick something and then run with that. But my philosophy related to Innovation Centers of Excellence is that we all have where we have the creative side and the analytical side. So how about we use our whole brain? And when you do that, and when you look at people that are multimillionaires, whether it's Elon Musk or Jeff, Bezos or anyone like that, they have utilized a number of skills related to both left and right. So we teach that in Innovation Centers of Excellence, and then teach you how to monetize that and have impact. You mentioned wealth, and you mentioned being rich, and some various things related to money. Money is important, but if you don't have the mindset and the right skill set to know what to do with it after you get it, it's just going to dwindle away. We all probably know numerous athletes, actors, actresses that have had wealth and have lost it because they did not have the right systems in place. So we do what we can to teach entrepreneurs not just to have a job, but to have where you do what I call element 10, and I can get into that in a moment, or I could talk about it now. It's up to you.
It's okay. We can still get into it.
Okay. So element 10 is a philosophy I have, and it's been featured in USA Today, Yahoo Finance, and other publications, that every single person should have at least 10 sustainable and substantial streams of income at any one time. Now, I did not say 10 jobs. I said streams of income. So on the cash flow quadrant, you can be an employee, you can have where you have a business, you can have where you systematize it and other people run your business, and then you can have investments. We teach young people how to operate in all 4 quadrants, and then diminish over time the left side where the employee portion is, so that you systematize what it is that you know, hire other people to run the business, and then you can spend your time building another business, have other people run those, and go more into investing. Because then you can work anywhere in the world and not have where you are bogged down with having to go clock in at a job. And who really wants to do that? But you have to start somewhere, right? And so with what we teach in Innovation Centers of Excellence, it is 2 12-week sessions. And they understand the mindset, they understand the systems, and then we move into the monetization portion. And that portion is where we also talk about protecting your ideas. Because again, what good is it to have an idea and you throw it out there and then someone else takes it? But I believe even if someone does, God will give you another idea and another idea, but we don't want to have that happen. So intellectual property is very, very key. And looking at statistics where across Kenya, there's across Africa, there's stats related to 20-30% of people are entrepreneurs, but we know that there's a lot of people out on the street that sell a lot of different items where they haven't necessarily registered their company. They're just out there doing what they do. We teach how to go and get that company registered locally, and then do what you need to do also to get registrations internationally so that you can then be in the global marketplace. Because the world is bigger than one country. The world is bigger than one continent. The world is the world. And so why not have where you have your products and services go beyond where you live?
All right. So most people fight with the urge to stay employed and venture into their business. And we were just talking with the previous group that sometimes you may not know when to like give up or when to now shift your focus to your own personal business. So as a person who has gone through different countries, around 40 of them, what do you think is the biggest setback that most people have holding on onto their careers, onto their 9-to-5 job? They're having businesses, yes, but then they're holding on to their careers. They don't want to leave it. And it's acting like a setback for them, but then they can't do it. What do you think is rooted in them that they don't want to let go of their personal business?
Well, I really appreciate that question, and that is just a part of the whole set of lessons that we teach in Innovation Centers of Excellence, because the other portion of that is the FCIT portion, the Future CEOs in Training. There's a CEO inside of everyone, but you don't have to just believe it. You have to take the action and take the steps. So once you start taking the steps and understand that you really do have something that the world needs, because it needs to be based on anything that we put out in the marketplace, it should be solving a problem. So one of the very, very first lessons that we have is on problem solving and troubleshooting. And once you understand what the market needs, have the job, make the money, have that stability, but then you have to burn the midnight oil or wake up early and put time and effort into those business plans that the other ladies were talking about, and then having systems that will grow what it is that you have. Because a lot of times, as you were saying, you have something and you're like, is it time to shift? And I'm saying, do all of it. There is no shift. Do all of it, but have that stability of that job until, based on your business plan, if it's 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 4 years, you're working towards diminishing the left side of that cash flow quadrant as an employee. And then once you see that you have enough money to sustain, or you have enough money to invest in better systems, better equipment, and having mentors and coaches to guide you, then you can say bye-bye to the job and put all of your effort towards being not just a business owner, but one that has systems in place where other people run your businesses and you can go on to the next project. But that's why having programs like this, having coaches and mentors that can guide you through that process, will save you from quitting your job too early, you know. And so it all is based on risk too. Like, you have to be able to just jump and take that risk, take that leap. And programs like this teach you how to do that.
I love that, the fact that they say if you cannot take that risk, someone else might take that risk, and you know, if you have an opportunity and you don't take it, someone else will come and take it for you. Now we have every successful business solves a problem, but in the world we have different countries having different problems. So how do you scale up to a global market when what you're thinking about is only solving probably Africa's problem, and now you want to get it global? How do you get to that?
Well, it just depends on what you're solving. And I want to go back to one other thing that you said. If you don't solve the problem, someone else potentially will. That is so true. One of the things that we've talked about, and even over the last several days with some of my students, one of the first lessons is about being first. Being first. Have enough behind your product and service that you've done your due diligence so that it is a good product or service, but don't delay. Get it out in the market. because a number of times we can think back in our lives and different products and services that are out there that it's not that it was that good, but they were first. So now they have all of the market share because they were first. And you come in because you've waited to make yours perfect in your mind, and no one's buying it because everyone now is using the other product that was out there first. So think of your idea, coaches, mentors, programs like ICE, and then have where you go ahead and take that step to get it out in the market. Now, the question that you asked was about going global. It really depends on what the product is, but that is why we go through some of the various assessments, because some things could be that it could really take off and be a multi-million dollar, billion dollar type of idea right here in Kenya. Everything is not necessarily a global type of idea. And that's why it's important to have people that can help you do those assessments. And so there's various types of assessments, various types of contracts that we go through with our students so that they understand how to do those assessments themselves. And if it is something that is meant to be global, then we help to put the extra protection around it and get them mentors in some of those areas in those other countries, because I have a wide variety of people that I know that God has blessed me to know and that I can dial up at any time to help mentor some of the young people.
Now that you talked about your connection, they say that your network is your net worth, but then you have to bring worth for you to have a successive network.
Yes.
So as a young person, if you want to get into this, most of the time young people only have their degrees. Probably they've done this business for like 2 years from the time they were in campus, and now they're looking for investment. They may not be able to have huge networks. How do you get to be to these platforms or your name being mentioned in such places if you're a young person with only your degree as your qualification?
Right. So even before you even have your degree, while you're still in school, such as some of the students that are in the Innovation Centers of Excellence program, you can earn certifications. And so we do certifications through ICE. We also do micro certificates. So if I teach, for instance, on Tuesdays for the 12-week programs, what we do on Saturdays is I give them case studies, and they have to go through and analyze it, come up with the statistics, come up with the problem that they solved, and be able to present it, to pitch it. And then based on that, they can earn a micro certificate. All of those are things that just help build their portfolio as a human being, as an entrepreneur. And so you don't necessarily even have to have a degree yet to get those types of certificates. The other thing that we do, if I see that you're excelling, such as the finalists that we have right now, there were over 150 people that applied for this program over a year ago. And we now have about 7 finalists that are going to receive mentorship. They are going to receive various types of scholarships. They are already published authors now as part of my book that came out just 2 weeks ago, Innovology. And this is the new manual of innovation, 10 precepts to empower the rise of the everyday innovator. They have their quotes in here. They have their experiences in this book that I wrote. So now they're internationally best-selling authors on Amazon, #1 best-selling authors in 2 categories. So their picture, their information will be not just in here, but in publications, press releases that will again help them. So when someone Googles their name, there will be information that comes up, and that helps to boost them to be set apart. I always talk about be the go-to person, be the one that's set apart. But how do you do that? It's by enrolling in programs like this. And there's a number of programs that are out there. So I'm not just saying this because this is my program, but get into something that can help boost you. Because these are international publications that their picture and their information will be in. Each and every student will have a press release that they have their quotes in. And so just like they do whenever I go someplace and someone knows that I'm speaking, they look me up. And if someone looks them up, What do they see on their social media? What do they see in the news? What do they see that sets them apart and makes them have something that's newsworthy? So those are things that we help them with. And then depending on who I connect them with from a mentorship perspective, again, another release, another publication saying that they were aligned with this person or with that business. And then that is, again, something that helps them to be set apart, to be the go-to person. The troubleshooting skills, the problem-solving skills, using Six Sigma, risk management, risk assessments, various types of analysis. When you get those tools in your toolkit, you can use it no matter what your major is, no matter what you're interested in. All of those things are important because every single situation, even right here, there's risks. To broadcasting and and publicity. There's risk to engineering. There's risk being a pilot. There's even risk being a cook. Like whatever it is that you want to be in life, or to have as one of your element 10s, one of your 10 sustainable and substantial streams of income, understanding risk, understanding problem solving will do this to your income, will do this to your impact, and will do this to you having the life that you deserve and that you want.
All right. You mentioned earlier that you talk to young people 9, 10, 16 years who are millionaires. And from what you just said, I noticed that it's never too early to begin being an entrepreneur. It's never too early. The earlier you begin, the better you get. When they ask you for 30 years experience, you'll be like, yeah, you know what? I used to sell something when I was a 9-year-old.
Right.
Now let's talk about faith and purpose and how do you combine this with being a successful entrepreneur? Faith and purpose.
Faith and purpose, definitely. So as a young girl, when I was 4 or 5 years old, my mom and my dad, they sent me to kindergarten with my little plastic briefcase and told me I can be anything I want to be and I can do anything I want to do. And so I believed them, but I was met with bullying in school. And so I really had to just dig in and rely on God to help me through that, because that was when I was 4 or 5. I poured myself into my studies. I poured myself into music, into sewing, into dance, into anything, cooking, anything that was creative. And when I would come to school and present a project and get an A+ on it because of something I uniquely made, that caused more bullying. So it was something that helped excel me, but it was also something that made me have like self-esteem issues because of being bullied. And that went on up through junior high school, and even on through adulthood. And so as an adult, I had been to a lot of the countries that I mentioned. I had done a lot of things and had climbed the corporate ladder to be a vice president in a major company. But I still had that little girl that had purpose in her life, but had where there was a certain personality type that I allowed to still bully me. So it wasn't until age 50 that I said no more. And when I said those 2 words, no more, that propelled me mentally to be able to really step into my purpose. And so people who knew me and like, oh my gosh, she's so strong, she's done this, she's done that, didn't believe that I ever had anyone bully me. But there's a lot of people that are going through a lot of hidden difficulties. And so if you have where your faith in God is your foundation, then you can make it through anything. And that's what I've had to rely on my whole life. My parents, they brought us up in church, and they told me I had a purpose. But sometimes I would listen to the voices of the bullies as opposed to the voices of the people being positive in my life. So I feel that it's very important. Again, I go back to having coaches, having mentors, having spiritual guidance. Make sure that you're involved in a Bible-believing church, because there's a lot of churches out there. So Bible-believing church where you can have God carry you through anything. We just did a summit, a festival with youth just even a few days ago, and some of them mentioned that they didn't have any hope, and some mentioned that they did have what they knew what they wanted to do in their life. and other people had a lot of different things to say. What it comes down to is, do you believe who God said that you are inside? Mm-hmm. Do you believe who God said that you are? And if you do, then there's nothing that can stop you. No bully, no distraction, no fire that can come up, no giant. There's nothing that can stop you, because your faith in God is what can carry you. But you have to carry that by having where you're in the Word every single day.
Right.
And having faith in yourself and having faith in God.
Mm-hmm. Now, through all these setbacks,
yes,
how do you get to build your execution mindset?
That's a good question. Your execution mindset. That is something that, so we've had like a lot. I've been teaching a lot, doing a lot since I've been here. We've been here on this particular trip for about, I think it's been a couple weeks already, and we'll be here for another week. And one of the things, it's a simple message: do. Just do. A lot of people have a lot of ideas, but they don't put them in place. A lot of people have a lot of dreams that they've never executed. And so it's a great question, but it's a very simple answer. You just need to do it. Mm-hmm. And part of doing it is being able to do it in a way that you can also articulate it so that other people rally around you and maybe want to be a part of your team. They may want to be on your advisory board. They may even want to be an investor. So that is in relation to my other book of how do you have an execution mindset, is being able to speak about whatever it is that God has given you. Mm-hmm. And so speaking, it talks about public speaking, but even like right now, this is public speaking. Even if we weren't on camera, it's still public speaking. Sure. Because you have to be able to accurately articulate what it is that you want to do. Mm-hmm. So how do you become an executor, if you will? It's by thinking it and then putting the actions in place and being able to articulate it so that people can rally around you to propel your vision.
That's brilliant. It's not just wanting to do it, knowing how to do it, when to do it, and also understanding that when you fail, you still rise up again and do it again.
Right.
Now, tell us about Future CEOs in Training program. How does this work? And who benefits from it? Who gets to enroll in it? Basically, how does it work?
Yes, thank you. So it works by the workshops that actually start today. After we get off this broadcast, I'm going to be going over to one of the halls, and we have about 150 or so students that have signed up to come to that, and there's still time. If anyone wants to enroll, they can, because we'll be here for the next several days. You enroll in it because you have the desire. And some people are like, well, I don't know what it's about, and they may have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions. But what it is exactly what it says: Future CEOs in Training. Because I believe that a lot of adults talk about, the next generation, the next this, the next that. The students here, your age and even below, are the now generation. It's not the next generation. Because we're not going to be here forever. Those of us who are older, we're not going to be here forever. And there's even young people that pass away. So what we do is do our best to put fire and urgency inside of students so that they just get off of procrastination and go and do. So to be a CEO, the Future CEOs in Training, it's executing your ideas, but then understanding how to run a business. Because you need to be able to know your own books, know your numbers, and know your business plans, and then have people help to execute it with you. Owning a business is not just something that happens, and running a business is not just something that happens. There's plans, there's KPIs, key performance indicators, and ways that we measure. So one of the portions of WISE, the WISE Doctari, it's wealth, innovation, sustainability, and excellence and execution. And it's measurable shift success. These are all different tools that we put in place. And then you develop your own tools. You develop things that can set you apart. And then we feature that to, again, have publications featuring your successes so that when people Google you, like, wow, they have a lot going on that's positive, that's good. They have a great mind. I want to work with them. I want to know more about them. And those are the kinds of things that we help put in place so that they understand not just how to run a business, but how to be the CEO of your life and of your products, and then propel you to where you actually should be, which is on the top.
What do you think is the mistake young CEOs make at the beginning of their careers?
Some, I think you may have mentioned earlier, is the word young. They think that sometimes that they're too young to do XYZ, and I say no. Like, I had all those different businesses with my brother. Like, we made some good money when we were growing up. We had a little bit of an allowance from our parents, but we didn't really necessarily need that because I didn't grow up in a household that had money, but we had wealth. You hear what I said? Mm-hmm. We did not have money, but we had wealth because they placed inside of me that I was something special, that I was unique on purpose, that I had value. So as parents, if we can instill that in our children, whether we've been there and done it or not, it's still instill it in your children so that they can walk with their head up high and then believe it. I think a lot of times younger people don't believe that they're worthy or have what it takes, of which that's, again, a part of this is helping to build the confidence, building the self-worth, where you can just go out and do it. Because yes, sometimes you may, quote unquote, fail, but there's no failure. It all has to do with lessons learned. So if we can instill in the young people that it's a lesson learned, a lesson learned, a lesson learned. Okay, I need to pivot and shift and do this a different way next time. There's a book that I have coming out called Clinch the Pivot. If it's not working, just change it. Mm-hmm. Do B, C, D, E. Like plan A doesn't work, go to the next plan and the next plan. Mm-hmm. Part of what we talk about is how you think and how you speak. That's why this book is important. Because if you have a job and you go to your boss, we have a problem over here. Mm-hmm. Don't just go with the problem. What is your A, B, and C solution? Come up with various solutions. They may or may not even work, but then he knows that you're thinking, or she knows that you're thinking. Mm-hmm. And it just might be one of those solutions is the one that does work. But they see that you have a problem-solving, troubleshooting mindset. And eventually, they will start working, and you will be the go-to person. Mm-hmm. You get a promotion, you get raises, you get recognitions. Again, other things that can be in media to show what you've done. Mm-hmm. One of the initiatives for future CEOs in training is to have where every company doesn't just necessarily have internships, mm-hmm. but also has where they have young people, maybe even in junior high, high school, and college, in their companies, bringing fresh ideas. Because we don't know it all. And sometimes that new approach is what is actually needed. Mm-hmm. And younger people have embraced automation, robotics, and AI and whatnot a lot more than adults have. And those are my playground areas that I teach and I do on a daily basis in mm-hmm. genetic research, biotech, and whatnot. So mm-hmm. working with people that have that mindset, to have where we can partner with their companies to have the future CEOs in training in their companies. That gives them experience, and it raises what they could potentially do as a company because they have fresh ideas.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. Now, as we bring this to an end, as we wrap this conversation, what do you think Africa or the world, but basically Africa, Kenya, should be doing to change innovation into wealth that is sustainable?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So there are so many rich resources right here in Africa. I think that's why I just keep coming back. Out of all of the nations I've been to, I keep coming back, and specifically keep coming back to Kenya. It has my heart. And so when I ask questions in the various presentations I do, whether it's in universities or schools or churches, I've spoken to thousands of young people across Africa. Some questions, everyone raises their hand, and like, who likes money? Who wants money? They raise their hand. But then when I ask some questions about how they're using their mind and what are they doing, it's less and less and less. Mm-hmm. So sustainability, substantial income, can only come going back to what we already talked about, which is doing, but doing in a way that has systems around it. And that's what Innovation Centers of Excellence is. That's what Future CEOs and Training is come into these types of programs, get the help, get the mentorship, do your best. It takes work. I don't play related to the quizzes and the tests and the different things, and even the speaking, how my students speak. Everything is set up in a way to have them be set apart. So how do we have sustainability? Enter programs like this, do the work so that you then can come up with your own business, your own products, and just get out there and do it. There may be some setbacks, but if your mindset is on the fact that you have purpose, that God has placed something inside of you that the world needs, just keep going, keep doing, open your mouth, ask for help, and partner with people who've been there, and let God do the rest.
I love how you've ended it. Let God do the rest. Thank you so much for Dr. Wise, the Wise Doctor. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning, and I'm sure this has really been helpful to our viewers back at home. They're now a step ahead from where they were before they began hearing this interview. Right now, they're thinking of going big, or if they were reluctant on doing what they're intended to do in their businesses, they're ready to do it. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, now to our viewers back at home, this has been the discussion on helping you go global, having that mindset to go global. And let me just give you, if you missed everything, if you didn't hear anything, just know that you need to just begin do it. That execution mindset is built when you just begin doing it, just do it. Coming up next is a discussion with a young man who is in the hospitality business, and he'll be helping us understand how young people are making it, how they are sustaining themselves in the business, full of experienced and more elite people in the same business. So how is he managing to stay at the top of the table? That discussion is coming up shortly after the break.
Tourism Cabinet Secretary Honorable Rebecca Miano on Thursday presided over the launch of 7 strategic human capital initiatives for Eastern Africa, a historic milestone aimed at empowering the youth with mentorship, career development programs, and equipping them with tools to succeed in the workforce.
The most exciting bit about it is that it is focusing on our youth, offering them placements abroad, even getting jobs for them. And I'm really, really grateful that Kenyatta University, through the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, is spearheading this. And I want to congratulate Kenyatta University for being very agile, innovative, and setting the pace. And I can confirm that this is a real game changer. It is very good news for this country.
The Director, Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center for Eastern Africa, highlighted that such is achieved through connecting Eastern Africa youth with remote work opportunities abroad.
What
what we are launching today is the East Africa chapter, where we are involving other countries in East Africa first before we go to Eastern Africa. So to date, we have engaged, we have had over 11,000 candidates, and quite a number of them are at the welcome stage, 8,000 of them. There are 1,900, there is a typo there, that are eligible, others are in process, others are engaged, but also there are others whose visas have been denied, but we are happy that the program has engaged quite a good number of these young people.
This, Andy Monet says, is a crucial element in reducing unemployment rates among the youth and boosting infrastructure in the region.
And according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the unemployment rate for people under 30 years old is over 37%. And that's really dangerous because that's a double-digit number, whereas the national unemployment rate is only a single-digit number and very low. So the people that are going to run our country, the people who are going to support the families, the people who are going to make a difference in our communities and our country and our region, employment is really critical to that success.
To make this possible, Kenyatta University Vice-Chancellor Professor Washeke Wanjohi underscored the importance of connecting the youth to high-speed internet on a 24/7 basis, an initiative fully implemented at Kenyatta University.
We realize that the computer lab is getting emptier and emptier. And then we discovered what the students are looking for, and a majority of them are the Gen Zs. They are not looking for a physical space. They are looking for a platform where you can facilitate them to access the global space. And so we shifted the strategy to ensuring that our spaces are fully covered with internet connection Wi-Fi. And we have completed that now for the main campus, where we are now have 100% coverage of Wi-Fi, whether you are in a classroom, whether you are in the library, whether you are in the hostels, we have 100% Wi-Fi connection. And that is now being rolled out to other campuses, 5 of them.
DVC Research, Innovation and Outreach Professor Caroline Thorua commended the launch of the initiative, terming it as a key pillar in shaping the next generation of innovators and leaders.
These programs align seamlessly with our mission to equip young professionals with knowledge, skills, and global exposure necessary to thrive in an ever-evolving world.
Before the program, I had only one source of income, but after the program, Madam told us that you should have at least 10 cash flows, element 10. So for now, I've strived and I'm at element 4. It was very nice, and I wish to encourage more students to join other than wasting time on things that are not beneficiary.
What happens actually right now is actually we can be able to scale our way into the market world and be able to build our businesses actually and be innovators in the marketplace. So, yeah.
The launch held at the Kenyatta University Conference Center witnessed the coming together of key partners like the Ministry of Tourism, Top Talent Agency, GPP Solutions, GTR CMC, Strategic Solutions, and the Andy Monet LLC. During the launch of the Human Capital Initiatives right here at Kenyatta University by Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Honorable Rebecca Miano, one thing has stood out, and this is the clarion call to equip the youth with training, mentorship, and resources to enable them achieve financial independence and long-term success in both their careers and lives with a touch of global perspective and experience. Theo Masharia for KUTV.
Speaking during the official handover ceremony of over 2,000 books from the family of the late Professor Shem Migot Adhola at the university's postmodern library, Kenyatta University Vice-Chancellor Professor Paul K. Wainaina, accompanied by Deputy Vice-Chancellor Professor Washeke Wanjohi and several deans, expressed deep gratitude to the family. Wainaina commended the act as a bold example of giving back to the society, adding that the books will inspire both current and future scholars.
We have had so many
occasions where we have received books, where we have donated books, and therefore, as I say, I actually like this staff.
The late Professor Shem Migot Adhola served as the chairman of Kenyatta University Council from 2017 to 2023, where he provided exceptional leadership and supported numerous academic initiatives.
Throughout his tenure, he was a visionary leader, a steadfast supporter of the academic excellence, and a passionate advocate for the growth of this institution, just within a span of 6 years.
Known for his passion for research and education, Migot was celebrated for his unwavering commitment to advancing knowledge.
It's not very common that after serving an institution for 6 years, that is where you want to donate all your book collections.
The event, held in honor of his memory, reflects Kenyatta University's continued commitment to respecting, recognizing, and celebrating its academic trailblazers. The books are expected to enrich the university's academic resources and contribute to its ongoing pursuit of excellence in education, both in Kenya and beyond. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
Right, welcome back, dear gentle viewer. We've had so much discussions this morning, from developing yourself as a business person, moving up your career ladder, to having a global mindset in your business, being a global entrepreneur. And right now, still on the spirit of being a global entrepreneur, we are joined by a gentleman who is in the tourism industry, or the tourism business, and he'll be talking to us about the do's and don'ts in the industry, and how best do you build yourself as a young entrepreneur, getting your business to the market, a flooded market for that matter. How do you stay on top of the table, or how do you get a seat on the table in the first place as a young entrepreneur? So Kevin, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Honest, yeah.
Now, kindly allow our viewers to know you by making a brief introduction, what you do.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I'm Kevin Osore, founder and CEO of AfriRest.com. So AfriRest.com is an accommodation business, as we've just said it. So it's a listing and booking platform. So that's what we do. We are at the we are just getting to the market. We started onboarding hosts yesterday, and so far we are getting interesting reviews and all that. And so I'm just here to preach to young people and young entrepreneurs out there that you don't have to have $1 million to start a business, or to create something meaningful. You don't need to have a degree or a PhD for you to start a business or create something meaningful for yourself. You don't need connection to start something, all right? I've been there, I've done it, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I'm still making a lot of mistakes along the way, but I'm learning and I'm building as I go, and I believe until when I win, that's when I'll just be like, yeah.
You said giving up is not an option.
Oh, that's not in my vocabulary at all.
So Dr. Crystal was just here with us, and ametuambia that for you to have, most young people have dreams, very big dreams, but the problem is procrastination, or feeling you're not good enough, you're not old enough, you're not experienced enough, you're not rich enough, but then to build that execution spirit, you just have to do it. And I believe that's the same spirit that you're moving on with. So the tourism industry, or the accommodation industry, it's an industry that we can say it has a lot of stakeholders or people investing in that business. We have Airbnb, we have View Travel, we have, name them, so many companies in that business. So how do you manage to keep yourself at the top, or how do you plan to keep yourself at the top?
Authenticity. See, when the aha moment came to me, I wasn't building a business for me. I was building a business for the people who are interested in it. So I identified a problem because I myself am in the Airbnb or short stay business. I host in Resambu, right? So I've been 1 year into the business. And when I went in, I discovered there are so many challenges that people are facing, both the hosts and the people who want to to book Airbnbs and the short stay accommodations. And so I listed down all the problems that I thought people are facing, and then now I re-engineered the business from that point of view, coming back into the back room, into the developers and into that. So I will say one is authenticity. Like, you need to really be problem driven. Right, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of people who are doing so many things, but one thing that stands out, that makes you different in this industry that's saturated, that has so many big players, is for you to identify that one problem that you need to solve, and then that is your selling point. That is what will keep you going when things are tough, right? And also, as the I don't know how, Dr. who you've said,
the wise Daktari.
Yeah, the wise Daktari. She's talked about mindset as well. You got to have a lot of you got to work on your mindset big time, because when things are tough, when nobody is understanding you, when you're being kicked to the floor with all the system and all that, the only person that you have is you, and your mindset to keep you going. Otherwise, you just surrender. Because entrepreneurship is a brutal game. It's a very tough game, and that's why it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. I know someone might be laughing right now because anajua entrepreneurship ilinikalia kidogo. But then let's talk about the technicalities of setting up the business in the first place, because we understand that the tourism industry is an industry that is probably the most heavily taxed industry, probably after alcohol and the sorts. Yeah. We had recently the Ministry of Forestry giving new guidelines of new prices to be paid in reserves and all that. So this probably will be affecting tourism in the country.
Big time.
So talk to us about the technicalities of having a business that is touching the tourism industry.
Yeah, we are heavily taxed, both back door and front door. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is, I don't know, this is something that is really disturbing people, because you don't understand how this taxation, like, so many things are coming up every day, and if you're not at par with the government regulations and all that, you can easily be left out. And so this is a field that I'm still trying to learn, because there are so many hidden taxations. And also the government is trying to say that there are relief taxes, but we are not really feeling it, right? And so for me, the tribe that I'm trying to build is, once we get the right number of people, and once we get, our audience, my plan is to really go back to the government and tell them, okay, you're taxing us, the host is being taxed, the client is being taxed, the rent on income is being taxed. So there's just a lot of things, and at the end of the day, you'll find that you're really making less money. So personally,
to mention the taxations that are being brought.
I haven't done an extensive research about that, because also I have a team who's doing my accountant and stuff. But founders are not really good in numbers. Personally, I'm not good in numbers, so I haven't really delved so much into that. But it's quite a number. That's what I can say. It's quite a number, the taxation, because from a business point of view, from the registration itself, right? You're being taxed from the registration itself. Client acquisition, you're being taxed, right? Setting up a unit, you need to register your unit, right? And with that, you need to have a KRA PIN. You're being taxed, and then not keeping in mind the disadvantages that the disadvantage that we face as a business. There's breakages, there's these repairs and all that. Those ones are not being factored in, right? And in this, some of the conversation that we need to have, as especially people who are in this kind of tourism industries, like we're being taxed back and forth, and with that, we are not getting the proper support from the government, right? We have the foreign companies who are here now. Those ones are big. They can just come in and set up shop and because they have the financial muscles. And what about now us, the players who are locally, who don't have the financial muscles to compete with them? So this is a conversation that we are going to have in future. And it's just packaging ourselves well and then going back to the government and telling them, can we get incentives on this, on that, and can we have like one tax bracket that explains everything? Because this sector is informal, right? A lot of players who are in the accommodation sector are informal, and they are operating on client to host based, and so there's no legal or frame structure that we follow. So this is something that we need to sort out as a house, go to the government, tell them this is how we work, and can you give us this and that to support us? Because let me give you the numbers, right? We have 2.1 million tourists coming to Kenya annually, 2.1 million, right? And around 4.5 diasporas, the Kenyans coming as a tourists, and Kenya is making around $1.6 billion on annual revenue when it comes to this tourist venture, and 35% of that goes into accommodation. And we're talking about around $600 million of annual revenue only on accommodation. That's a huge number, right? And the foreign players have taken, so for instance, Airbnb has taken 65% market share. Booking.com is taking 25% market share. And then there's 10 to 15% locally, right? So these are big numbers. And these foreign players, they come in, they make profit, and then they take the whole profit back to their own country and strengthen their systems, right? And that's why you see that the American, the England, they have better ratings when it comes to accommodation and tourism, because those people who are investing in their countries, they're investing in their own systems, and we don't have that. So we can't achieve that with this high taxation. So we need to come back to the drawing board and tell the government, okay, look, we are coming into this game. This is how you can support us, and when you support us, we'll strengthen also our systems, improve our accommodations, improve our tourism, and improve all that. Yeah.
All right. Now, in terms of building the platform, what is the biggest challenge in building it and making it digital fit? I mean, it's booking online.
Yeah.
So what are the technicalities of that?
So the technicalities of that, well, I haven't faced so much resistance on the technicality side, because I have two developers, talented developers here who are here. Like, there's no foreign in my team. They're all Kenyans who have studied here, and they're building this monstrous over software, right? And so they've done a very good job in building the software. The problem is we are operating in a low trust society, right? So telling somebody, okay, I have this platform and it's gonna help you to do this, so can you come and let's work together? A lot of Kenyans are skeptical. They want to see if the product is market proven first before they jump in. The last minute that's how the system works in Kenya, right? Even right now, IBC is trying to enroll people, and nobody's turning up until the D-Day, right? Mm-hmm. And so the problem that I'm facing with the platform is just trying to convince people, like, okay, we are here on a good cause. We are here to help, and to help your business improve. So we need you to come on board and join us. So that is the only problem. But right now with the AI digital, you can build a powerful platforms, right? Like that's how we started with my platform, and I have this great team, individuals who are so talented, and they're building this platform from ground up, and it's working, you know.
As a young person, what is the biggest challenge you're facing in getting into developing a business? Because it's not always about, most of the time we complain about capital, you know. And for your case, what has been the biggest challenge in developing your business?
The biggest challenge, I think, is the fear of the unknown. Because you can plan, you can have a very good business plan. Everybody can do that. You can just throw it on AI, ChatGPT, and it will bring you, right? You can ask for money. You can go get a loan and start a business. You can do all these things. But then the fear of unknown is what is killing most of us. Because even right now, I'm experiencing that, because I don't know what the platform tomorrow is going to look like. Right, it can blow up or it can go down the drains, but we keep going regardless. So that is one of the challenges that I'm really facing as an entrepreneur. But I've worked on my mindset. I've worked on my capabilities as a person, you know, and I'm positive that I'm going to overcome that. But I'm telling you, most businesses, even those ones that don't start, it's just the fear of unknown. But they have everything in the place. They just don't know what tomorrow will bring. You know, and people fear getting embarrassed. The biggest challenge with the business owners is you know, the laugh that will come at the end of the day if you fail, right? But when you are building, people are watching silently, right? Everybody just like, oh, we will support you and all that. But immediately you start and you ask for that support from your friends and all that, nobody wants to come. But they are still watching to see whether you will make it or whether you will fail. If you make it, they will clap for you and they will join you on the other side celebrating. But at the same time, if you fail, they will laugh at you. Why? Because negative news travels faster. Nobody wants to talk about good things in life. People want to talk about bad things in life every day. Yeah.
All right. Now, where do you see your business in the next, let's say, 5-10 years?
We are going to be, of course, a one-stop shop for traveling industry here in Africa, not just in Kenya. And that's why I call my business AfriRest, because it is Kenyan born, but it is Pan-African. Yeah. So we have a very good plan on how we are going to scale. First of all, we are starting small here in Nairobi. We want to feed this market to make sure that we really have a stake in it. Then expand Mombasa, go to Masai Mara, bit by bit, and then expand to Tanzania, Uganda, while we grow like that. So it's a very simple outlined plan that we have, and we'll just be working with it bit by bit. For me, I want to build $1 billion business here in Kenya with the resources that we have. And I believe it's possible. And we will get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, not to get your secrets to the public,
all right,
but then would you care to mention a practical way that you plan on, the practical plan you have on scaling up?
Okay. So the practical plan that we have to scale. So we're just taking it simple. First of all, okay, to be honest, at the point of where we are right now, I will have to go and get funds to inject to the business. All right. The base is set. The foundation is set. So now the only the only plan now is to go and get funding to pitch to investors. And if you are an investor out there, come talk to me. Come talk to me. Let's build this dream. So we are gonna get funds injection, of course, to the project. And once we get the injection, now scaling will be easy. Client acquisition will be easy. Host acquisition will be easy, because now we'll be able to run ads, to do marketing. We'll be able to add on teams. We'll be able to tighten our operating system, our software, and make it faster. So that is the plan that I have for scaling the business for now. So yeah, so we will definitely, yeah.
Currently, how are you doing your marketing?
I have a marketing team, and we are just going, just like posting, doing content on online, Instagram, TikTok, and events like this, coming to talk to you guys, and then doing podcasts. So we are kind of doing organically at the moment. All right, and it's a very small marketing team, right? And they're really trying to push hard for that. But if you wanna play, if you wanna go big, like Airbnb and Booking.com and this other Viusasa or whatever, you need quite a big budget, so that you can advertise, so that you can do billboards, so that you can do branding, But for now, we are just doing it organically. Acquiring one client at a time, acquiring one host at a time. I can, for instance, yesterday I only had 5 hosts joining me, right? And now we are just building on that to get to 10, get to 20, get to 50 while we grow. So it's purely Kenyan, it's purely organically, and I believe that's the best way to set the foundation. Yeah.
All right, now as we bring this to an end, any advice for a young person who intends to begin a business?
First of all, I want to take this, I don't know if you will allow me a bit of time to just explain to people our business module, because I'm getting a lot of questions about that.
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay, first of all, our system connects the hosts to the clients, right? And for us, we are only taking 15% commission out of the whole arrangement, other than this other booking websites where they take 20. All right, so that's how we do. That's how we make money. And so for a young man who wants to venture into business, just start scared, start messy, and just go. When God gives you that aha moment, when God gives you that idea, pick it and move with it. Don't ask why, don't ask on how you're going to get there, but just pick it and run with it. If you don't, God will take that idea and put it and give it to somebody else, and they will move with it. So it doesn't matter where you are or the kind of background you have. Just pick the goddamn idea and move with it very fast. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin, for making time for us this morning. I hope the business scales up further so that we can also be clients. Nikitaka kwenda Maldives.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome on board. You're welcome.
All right. Now, for viewers back at home, that has been On the Lens with Kevin, and he has been talking to us about getting a business rolling. And as a young person also, if you need to begin your business, or if you're having that plan, just begin it. And at this point, we are taking a very short break, and then we'll be back to take a look at an overview of what is on our newspapers.
With 5 billion Kenyan shillings in funding from the World Bank, the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement Nyota program is set to empower over 820 youths across the country. The goal being to help them learn new skills, earn a living, and build a saving culture, while also opening up access to government procurement opportunities. Speaking on Monday during a sensitization forum in Murang'a County, Principal Secretary for Sports Elijah Mwangi assured youths that the selection of beneficiaries for the Nyota program will be free, fair and transparent.
Somebody who terminated his or her studies at the lower primary, upper primary, any level at secondary or at Form 4 but did not progress. We are waiting for you to make an application. Use your phone. Doesn't matter whether you have bundles, it doesn't matter whether you have the tokens, doesn't matter. Use your phone, go *254#, make an application, and as a government, we shall support you.
In Mombasa, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Transport, Mohammed Dagar, exhorted Mombasa youths to seize the project for job creation instead of being idle and susceptible to indecorous behavior and drug and substance abuse.
As you're going to see from the presentation project, ever that can address the issue of the youth bulge in this country. It covers all aspects. Not everybody needs to be employed. It's a program that will cover dropouts for the first time in this country, whether it's a Form 4 dropout or a Form 3 dropout. It's a program that is going to recognize skills.
Maragua Member of Parliament Mary Wamaua urged Kirinyaga youths to take advantage of the Nyota program, which aligns with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
That will take up this program are those who have the capacity or they are willing. Not just anyone who look drunkard or anything like that. It's somebody who really look responsible, and that is why we have to join hands together with the girl so that we can be able to identify those serious youths who are looking for jobs, and ahead of them they have a vision of raising up a home, not just anyone. So this is a grant, and therefore we'll make sure we go for those who are willing.
The program targets 70 youths from each ward who will undergo physical verification and validation at the constituency level before receiving training and startup funds of 50,000 Kenyan shillings for business development. As at the production of this report, only 589 youths have registered across the county, with the highest performing ward enlisting 46 participants and the lowest enlisting only 14.
All right, we have had so much or plenty that we have been talking about on Matters Business, how to better yourself, improve yourself as a young business person who wants to venture into your respective entrepreneurial practice that you're thinking of. So just get into doing it. At this point, I want us to take a brief overview of what is shaping the world of news, and that's according to our newspapers. And we'll begin by Matters Education. We all know that currently dons are on strike, and they have said that they are not going to be going back to class. That is, unless their dues are paid, unless the pays them. And we've seen campus students really not happy with the decision. But there is little or less to be done on this, because in as much as we want the lecturers back to classes, we also want motivated lecturers in classes. I don't know how long this is going to happen, or this is going to go on in the country, because currently we expected the Education Cabinet Secretary, Julius Migos, to come to an agreement with the lecturers union for them to resume work, but apparently that has not been seen happen. That has not happened so far. That agreement was to be arrived at yesterday, but that has not happened. So we expect further talks in the country, or the disbursement of the money meant for the lecturers. At the same time, we have the government having troubles with the members of parliament, or with the former allies, that is members of parliament in opposition, who are saying that when it comes to government borrowing, this is in relation to the borrowing of 5 billion from the World Bank to fund the Nyota program, an initiative that intends to improve the livelihoods of the youth, or to help them venture into different entrepreneurial practices by handing them 50,000 Kenyan shillings. So a section of leaders are saying this amount is too little for it to spur economic growth. It should be around 100,000. That's according to Kiharu, Member of Parliament, that is Ndindi Nyoro, who says that the government is just adding to the growing amount of debt in the country, and this is perceived to be something that will also be failing as we witness the Hustler Fund fail. I don't know if it really failed, but that is a controversy that we're having in relation to government funding youth-led initiatives. So at the same time, we have the opposition leaders accusing the government or President William Ruto of using divide and rule tactics to rule the to divide opposition votes. So this is in recent past we've seen opposition leaders led by Gachagua saying that Kalonzo Musyoka is apparently being bought by President William Ruto. The other day we saw on Friday we saw Kalonzo Musyoka being endorsed as a presidential candidate. So we have a division in the opposition, and they're saying that the president is using divide and rule tactics to divide the opposition votes. At the same time, we have a section of Mount Kenya residents that is from Embu County who held a strike yesterday accusing impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua of leading divisive politics. This is in relation to the remarks he made on Saturday in relation to Governor Cecil Barire and Governor Waiguru. So this, they say that he is promoting divisive politics, and if that goes on, they say that the residents say that they're comfortable with the government. The government is really fulfilling their needs, and there's nothing that Gachagua can do. So for that matter, it's still not clear on if Gachagua really has a grip on the Mount Kenya region. At the same time as that happens, we've also seen the government also gaining support or gearing towards having control of the Rift Valley region, the Nyanza region, the Western region, and the coastal region. So it is a really huge fight for the opposition leaders. That is Fred Matiang'i. We have Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. We have impeached Deputy President, that is Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Wamalwa, and Martha Karua. So that story, you can follow it up on the Standard. That is in relation to Nyota Fund. You can follow that story on the Standard on page 4 and 5. That is on the Standard. In terms of the story on education, on varsity funding, you can follow that story on the Daily Nation, that is on page 2. Still on the same, not on the same, on matters health, that is politics, education. Now on matters health, we have a rising division or a call for dissolution of Kiambu County government, and this is led by KMPDU Secretary General, that is Davji Atela, who says that the county should be dissolved for poor leadership, and this is in relation to the alleged death of 136 newborns. We have the Ministry of Health raising an alarm of increasing cases of maternal deaths in the county. So we have that push and pull between KMPDU and Ministry of Health that is against the Council of Governors led by Kiambu Governor Matangi, who also says that this health crisis narrative is a move or is pushed by those who want to taint his name. So it's a push and pull between the Ministry of Health and KMPDU and Kiambu County Government. At the moment, KMPDU is seeking signatures from Kiambu residents, and if they get a third of it, they're seeking to dissolve the county, citing poor management. So we have that's in matters of health, and KMPDU has also threatened to hold national strike, that is having all doctors go on strike. Yesterday we had Kiambu medical practitioners, that is doctors, going on strike, and now KMPDU says that they're going to call for a nationwide strike for all doctors to go on strike, demanding the dissolution of Kiambu County government. So that is on matters health. And in other news, we have that story. You can follow it up. I don't know if it's on the papers this morning. I just gave a hint of what is happening on matters health. And now in matters elections, we only have 20,000 of projected 6 million new voters listed who have registered. So there is continuous voters registration. And for you to change this administration, or for you to bring change in the current leadership as a young person, go get your vote. Or if you want to change your polling station, it is also time for you to get to register and change your polling station for you to choose your leader come 2027. So that is a general overview of what is happening in the world of news in matters politics, health, education, and matters election, other social issues. You can also get your copy of the newspaper to get further into that. So that marks the end of newspaper review, or the Biashara Tuesday segment today on this 14th day of October 2025. Until next time, it is bye from us. Thank you so much for choosing KUTV.
Good certain mood lover. Na keep time to kick utana. Na sure come fast. Good manners, good heavens, Allah for good.